Reusse Unchained, presented by Josh Arnold, investment consultant. Mr. Money Talk. We will get to the highly active Minnesota Twins. The hot stove is boiling over. But I don't know if you guys saw this or if I'm breaking this news to you this morning, but I think it was early yesterday or maybe it was like 36 hours ago. But Dan McNeil was a longtime Chicago sports radio host for a couple decades on the SKOR in Chicago. Very plugged in. And he reported a short list of 4 names that the Bears have interest in for their next head coach. Ben Johnson's on there from the Lions offensive coordinator, and then Mike Vrabel, who's probably going to get back in the mix. But Brian Flores was one of the 4 names that he listed, apparently with some internal steam. So what do you think of that?
I would think that next to Ben Johnson, who's 100% to get a job, right? He's going to be the hot ticket #1 guy among the assistants. But I would think Flores probably got better options than the Bears, don't you? I think he'd what are we going to have? 7, 8, 9 openings probably. There's going to be quite a bloodletting this time, and I would think that Flores. If the Bears would be okay, but I think I'd sit around and wait and see if I got something better than that for him. But let's face it, any job you get, unless it's Dallas, is probably a rebuild anyway. Dallas, they'll try to spend money and do goofy things and stuff, but he'll get the more and more I think he'll get a job, don't you think? I mean, he might be #2 among the assistants.
He deserves one. It all depends on the 3-year pending lawsuit now that because he's still suing the league, but he did get a second interview request last year with the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. So that was at least one team and then he took himself out of the running, or 2 years ago, whenever it was. But
but he's I don't know if you don't know what's the NFL is capable of anything behind the scenes, and pretty much having the commissioner's office tell anybody that hires him that you got to get him to drop the lawsuit before you hire him or something, or promise to settle the lawsuit or something. But yeah, I gotta think he's going to get a job. I really do. This is this is maybe the most astounding season in Viking history. So somebody off that staff's got to get a job, and he's obviously the candidate.
Yeah. They're going to lose coaches. Yeah, I think McCown actually might get a sniff too.
That would be be a reach, considering isn't this his first official year as an assistant?
Second,
second.
Carolina.
But he has actually gone through the head coach process twice with Houston, because the Texans toyed with actually hiring him fresh out of playing. And he's going to at the end of the day, I think internally get a lot of credit for this Darnold thing.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yes, maybe might be a package deal when some school or some team looking for a quarterback that's not going to draft one. If there's only 2 first-rounders out there in the draft this time, maybe you get McCown and Darnold as a package deal. It wouldn't be an official package deal, but that could be it. So, yeah.
Flores the Bears are on the record saying that we want a leader of men, which is a very very vague attribute. But I know the things that went sideways in Miami, him and Tua, he's kind of been reflective about that, and he has apologized for. So it seems like he's not just a stubborn, hard-headed guy, that he kind of learned from it. But I agree with Pat. I think Dallas would actually be a great place for Flores because, listen, he's kind of a quieter guy anyways. Let Jerry do a lot of the talking. You have an established quarterback in Dak Prescott who's 30 years old. You fix that defense and whatever, pump some leadership into the locker room.
Yeah, you're filling some small shoes, because the Mike McCarthy that has somehow survived this long at Dallas has not got the same reputation he had when he was at Green Bay. No. That's for sure. You're ready. You got him and Zim. You're coming into as high as the alleged Dallas standards are with their fan base and everything, it's damn near impossible to get hired down there and not be popular, right? Because you're replacing McCarthy and then Zim and this absolute disaster that this season turned into.
How much do you think Zim regrets coming back for
Oh
this?
God, he's got to regret it a lot, doesn't he? I don't know what he should have remained a consultant to Dion or something like that. But
Exactly.
yeah,
Stay on the ranch.
this did not work out too well for Zim, and I think one of the big shocks of the NFL in recent years is how long McCarthy has stayed through the disappointments. I mean. It's like Jerry. The more the public and the writers and the sports writers and media, not sports writers now, but commentators down there said you got to get rid of McCarthy. The more he wouldn't get rid of McCarthy, it was like he was doing the opposite of what they wanted, what everybody wanted. He was, I'm not. It was like I'm not going to be told what to do. It was the situation with McCarthy, but obviously Mike is not coming back from this this
Yeah.
abyss, is he? No.
No.
So.
Who do you think takes that Jets job? Flores, I will say, he was born in Brooklyn. He went to Boston College. Like he's an upper Northeast guy.
First thing
And
I do is to say you got to get rid of Aaron Rodgers, else I'm not taking the job.
yeah,
I don't want to. I don't want to come in and have him being the jackass that he's turned into be. So, who can't play? Who isn't great anymore? When you could put up with him when he was great, with him being mediocre at best. Who wants to put up with him, and who wants to have that much? How do they get rid of him and get their cap money back from the ungodly amount of money they're
Well,
paying him?
you're
Well,
not
if
going to
he
get that back.
no, no. I mean, what if you get him to retire, then what? Then you still have dead money, probably, huh?
yeah, you're definitely on the hook for like. And they,
Something.
they did restructure. Let me pull his contract up here
Yeah.
because he actually like took a little less money to free up some space for like Lazard and
Oh,
some other
yeah.
guys to come over.
Well, he brought in? They got him as the best guy he had. They got him and
Devontae.
Devontae, and that's it.
Devontae's there. He brought in
So
Randall Cobb for a while, right?
Yeah, yeah. He's a lunatic, man. He's a
Oh yeah.
you know, but
okay, here's the situation. It's not quite like Russell Wilson contract bad, but so he's under contract for next year, and it's a $49 million cap hit. But they also tacked 4 void years onto the end to like smooth out some of the other accounting. And there's another $35 million that hits in 2026 to the books. So
what
yeah,
if
they're gonna be.
if you never have to actually pay this money? Does it still count against you?
If
Know
so,
what I'm
basically, like
saying?
if you give a guy a big signing bonus and he gets money up front, it allows you to spread the accounting over
Okay.
multiple years. So he gets his money right away, but you still have to account for where that goes on the books.
Why did they think they were good? That he would make them good? Why did the Jets think they were on the cusp of something? Why did they
Football
do this?
insecurity of 50
Yes.
years of football
Yeah,
insecurity.
they're always
Yeah.
desperate. The Jets
Yeah.
are desperate.
Yeah, well, Woody is one of the biggest idiots in the
Right.
NFL. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, well, but why did they think, okay, if we get a quarterback, look out now? I mean, why did they think that? I don't get it.
That's what
I
all
don't get
teams
it.
think.
What about New York is the only non-football market left in America? Basically, you got the Jets and the Giants, and it's the only town left in America where, well, St. Louis, obviously, but that has the NFL, that baseball has got to be more popular, right? Because you got the Mets and the Yankees, and then you got these two collections of clowns stuck out there in New Jersey. So it's it's amazing that New York is can be this bad simultaneously, isn't it? Wow,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
So
So.
Royce, What's your theory on Bill Belichick? He's 72 years old, okay? 72. To your point, there's going to be 8 probably, openings in the National Football League, and he goes to North Carolina.
What I have no idea. I don't know. He must not feel like he's going to get it. He must have had his agent tell him he's not going to get an NFL job. That nobody wants him because I have no idea. What kind of a college recruiter is he? This is an era when you have to kiss the rear ends of your incoming freshmen so they stay. Your recruiting class, you gotta. You're in the schmooze. The players got the power now, basically. And he's going to come in and be the grumpy old SOB who calls all the shots. And, I don't get it. I do not get it at all. But, he's saying that he's always been a college football guy because of his dad. But I see that I will. I'm not big on watching press conferences when they introduce somebody, but I think this one's going to be one you got to watch, isn't it? Just to see
Oh
what the
man.
hell he's doing. And how would you like to be the North Carolina beat guy? Now it makes you more interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But he's going to be a complete jackass. And well, by the way. The other thing is, you think Harbaugh having that guy next to him stealing the plays and everything? This Belichick's gonna have 5 of those guys, man. You're
Connor
gonna,
Stallions.
yeah, you're gonna have. Yeah. Why that guy might get named assistant general manager of the Tar Heels foot. We got the new titles for these,
Yeah, well,
general
he
manager
hired Lombardi, Michael Lombardi, his old guy from like 20 years ago in New England, is the GM now of
already.
North Carolina football.
GM of football.
Get the
It's
band together.
But we get rid of Mac because he's too damn old, and we bring in
Right.
Belichick. I don't quite get it.
And
Who's
also,
that?
like, you
I don't
can't
know.
in the NFL, you can be a grump and you don't have to be marketable because you get to select the players you want in the draft, and then they're under
Yes.
contract, and you can run your own program, and they're not going to leave because they're under
Yeah.
contract.
No, the
You
NFL has got much greater control of the players than the college
Yeah.
football does.
You have to be like somewhat affable and likable and connect
Yes.
with humans to be a
Yes.
Young
great college
humans.
coach today. Yes.
Yeah. He's. I think in the NFL. He was a genius as far as preparing a football team and knowing what the hell the other team was going to do and the whole thing. I've always been impressed. He's sitting over there squinting in the sun, putting the hand above his thing, and yet he sees everything and he makes, they've made adjustments back when he had a quarterback, and it was incredible how he could prepare an NFL team. But you can't do that with these guys. You're not, it doesn't do any good,
Yeah.
because they're going to, if you're not in college football, if you're not as good as the other team, you're going to get beat, right? That's my theory, and I don't know. He doesn't have any appeal to a college kid, an 18, 19-year-old college kid hey, he won 6 Super Bowls, but they don't care. What
Well,
do
so it
they
was like
care?
7 years ago was the last
Yeah,
one too, right? Or 6 years ago.
yeah,
So it's
it's a
been
really odd hire, but I suppose for North Carolina, it gives their football program some buzz. And by the way, he could be coaching in the Big Ten in a couple of years because I think I got North Carolina and Notre Dame as their next 2 schools to give them 20 that maybe
yeah.
within a couple, 3 years. Although Notre Dame will probably be a hard bargain because they'll want a little bigger hunk than everybody else. But I think the next additions to the Big Ten are going to include North Carolina. So
Yeah.
that that would be
Hey,
interesting.
earlier you mentioned that New York is kind of the rare market where the baseball
Yeah.
teams are maybe still more popular than the football teams. So as we transition to some Twin stuff here, it just occurred to me: has the gap ever been wider in local popularity and interest between the Twins and the Vikings than it is right now?
My theory, I was thinking about this before it came on. Have they ever been number 4 in the market before? Have they
Wow.
ever, and I'm not counting the lane, I mean, this is
No,
the
never.
major sports,
No.
have they ever been
No.
number 4 in the market? Because they always had the Timber. No matter how bad things were, we were always more interested in the Twins than the
Well,
Timberwolves,
they
right?
might have been third in like 1998 when the
Yeah,
Wolves and KG were making
yeah,
the playoffs, but there was
yes,
no hockey team.
yeah. There was no hockey team, and you know, the hockey team. There's a big chance the hockey team hasn't been this interesting since the 2003 playoff run.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean they've had their crowds, but it's been more loyalty than God. Are they good?
Right.
Why are they this good? How often have we had that conversation about the Wild? Why are they this good? And we've never had it with the Timberwolves that we could be that you're selling out every game, and the fans are somewhat disappointed, but even though Ant gets fined for swearing now, boy, he's going to be broke if they keep finding him. Even no matter how much he makes, he's going to be broke. When did they start doing that? The NFL, by the way, I mean the NBA. What a bunch of idiots!
Well,
Finding a
he
guy for
swears all the time, and I
I
guess got
know.
fined. He got fined for the
Yeah,
first time on Friday after the Golden
yeah,
State game. I'm not quite sure
yes.
what f bomb they didn't
No,
like.
no, I don't know what I mean. That's it's modern America, you dummies. But anyway, I was thinking about this. They're down there in Dallas at the hotel, and it reminds me of what I used to go to the winter meetings with Calvin, and you'd sit around and drink for 4 days and wait for Calvin to draft somebody on Thursday. I think the Rule 5 draft was on Thursday
Thursday
back then.
morning. It
And
still is.
then we'd make a big deal about they got some guy in the Rule 5 draft who none of us had ever heard of, and we'd write an 18-inch story and come back and try to get rid of our hangovers for about 3 days. And nothing was going on. But now they're down there, and Derek is now the president. He's running the whole thing. The double speak, the triple speak crapola that he has been throwing out since then, including down in Florida, down in Texas. Bobby Nightingale's down there. He's a great reporter for us. And it's just gibberish. It's just absolute nonsense gibberish. Now we got Jeremy Zoll as the general manager. That's all crap from him because he's never going to tell you anything. And they don't. I'm thinking they're now like with what's going on in town. The Vikings. This is as happy as the Viking fandom has ever been. In the '70s, they were not this happy because they lost the Super Bowls. This is euphoria. Okay, they love the coach. They love the quarterback. They love the defensive coordinator. They love ownership, even though they gave him a free stadium, and they don't. They think that they're big spenders. They love, and now the Wild never been more popular than they are at this moment because they even if they're behind 3-1, they're going to get at least 1 point. They're going to tie them and get in overtime. They're what 15? What did I look? I just looked 19-4, and I don't know what they are. They've only lost five. How many games
They don't
total,
lose.
Judd?
Yeah.
They don't lose. They always get a point. And then you got the Wolves, who this is the most popular they've been, I would say. So obviously the 2004 run was followed by the little slump of missing the playoffs 13 straight years. This does not look like a team that's going to miss the playoffs 13 straight years after they went to the Western Conference Finals. And then you got the Twins. Everybody's either mad about them, but even worse than being mad at them, they don't give a damn. Nobody gives a damn. The team, they're, you just gave out $700 million contracts to a player. The Dodgers and the Yankees just played the World Series. Everybody's saying, "What's the point with baseball? I'm done with baseball." And to fire those fans up, these guys have done absolutely nothing and intend to do absolutely nothing. And they pretty well announced that they are in trouble.
Yep.
And by the way, selling a team, I got to think whatever they thought they were going to get for that team, they're getting 200 million less because of the Soto contract and stuff like that that's going on, and the TV situation. And the TV situation, you now have access to it on TV, but you gotta pay? What do we know yet? What it's going to cost?
It'd be like
20 a month
100 or $120
Yeah.
a year,
for the
probably.
Well, we
summer.
don't know.
For the summer, I don't know if people are going to pay that because they're not interested in you right now. They have. I don't think they have any idea. Maybe they do have an idea how much trouble they are, and that's why they're selling. I don't
I will
know.
say I think Dave has had a clue, but he's
Oh,
on the way
sure.
out.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I feel
Well,
like
Dave
I
is-
feel like the two brightest people in that entire operation are now gone. Not completely gone with Dave, but and Thad.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Yeah,
going to be
Thad was Thad was de-emphasized for what, 3-4 years.
Mhm.
They kind of pushed him to the background for 3-4 years. And Falvey, I didn't think he was as bad the last few years talking. But ever since the press con, that's telling you nothing. I didn't think he was quite as bad at telling you nothing. But ever since the Thad announcement, where he just babbled incessantly and said nothing, it's all he's done. And I don't know what's going on, but they don't know how bad a shape they're in. I don't think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So we'll see. We'll see if they make a splash signing here on the way out of the winter
Can't wait for
meetings
Twins
to
Fest.
change
That's all
our
I know.
mind. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Twins Fest is going to
Twins
be great.
Fest.
It's going to be lit, Pat.
Let's go.
Twins Fest now, but I'll say one thing: Twins Fest is down to about 20 minutes now, too. Right? They have the Diamond Awards, which we'll probably have 25 people at this year, and then they have Friday. They just have
Yeah.
kind of a private thing
At
for
the
this
Fillmore.
for the season ticket holders or something. And then Saturday, you got a few hours of the old thing at the ballpark. So.
Cleveland just announced that they are going to do their Guards Fest once every 3 years, and that's it.
Oh wow! Once every 3 years.
Once every 3 years to provide the best event possible for the Guardians fans. They've announced
to
they're going
scale
to
back on cost.
And
Yes,
then
they're going to do it once every 3 years. You're going to get Guards
This is
Fest.
a team that, by the way, got the people back in the ballpark this year and had a hell of a season. And they're going to do it once every 3 years. Yeah.
I miss the days of Reusse and Mackey with Delman Young for an hour on stage.
God. That was the-
I wasn't there
Oh.
for the greatest moment ever when you asked him what he liked to do, and he said drink.
So yeah, what on an off day in Minneapolis, what do you like to do? Drink.
And Phil said, we got a lot in common, Delman.
Let's bring him back. Let's bring Delman back as a PR guy for this.
The look on
operation.
Mike Herman was the PR director at the time. I looked over and he was just like, "Oh man."
Oh, they are
Classic.
Man alive. I mean, there's I've been a baseball guy my whole life, and the golden shower's coming, and that's oh wait, the golden the bat. I keep getting those two things mixed up. But
Maybe that would put a spike in baseball here.
That's
It's the
right.
ninth inning golden shower available for $10.
Out in the bullpen, something like that.
Oh man!
God,
All right, Pat.
they're in
We'll talk
trouble.
to you again tomorrow, and we'll preview some. Well, I guess Vikings is Monday night, so we'll talk to you tomorrow
Okay.
about whatever we feel like.
Okay, and we don't have to spend a lot of time analyzing what's going to happen to the Boras Bears when they come up here Monday night. So anyway,
Probably not.
see ya.
All right, Reusse Unchained, presented by Josh Arnold.